start recording episode 48 Coach Taylor Radio. I'll make a live video for it as we go through. Might turn on a live stream to Facebook. So, as always, if I'm not looking at you, I'm just doing 25 other things, because that's how I roll. Let's get into this episode, shall we? Good morning and welcome to episode 48 of Coach Taylor Radio, my podcast that at least 15 people listen to. But that's okay, because I'd rather have 15 amazing people that I talk to and that listen to me than 800 million people that don't really give a shit and just want to post nasty comments. I don't know why people want to post so many nasty comments on the internet. It's really messed up. If you guys don't know, one of my German Shepherds, Heisenberg, on Instagram, Heisenberg_GSD, he's kind of Insta-famous. So we've got lots of other people that we know, and people are posting the other day, all these other German Shepherd groups, about the nasty fucking comments that people leave on their posts. On Instagram, I'm just but they're not, people aren't doing anything wrong. They're training their dog, playing with their dog, and people are giving them going off, giving them a hard time. It's really ridiculous why people leave stupid comments. I just ban and block people because I'm not here to fucking get ridiculed or yelled at or get into angry debates about stupid shit. So I just fucking ban and block people. I just won't deal with it. I just won't. What are we going to talk about on today's episode? Do an update on the Odyssey 2019. I've got a few things on here that are going to be really good. Why do you ignore the important stuff? There's some important things that I think we got to talk about there. We're going to talk a little bit about sugar and whether or not you can eat it. Just a brief overview. I put up videos this past week of push-ups and Turkish get-ups. I'm trying to do a couple videos a week. I'm not going to make that as a guarantee. I'm trying. But some weeks just get busy, or no one sends me questions and I don't know what I want to post about. So I'm going to do that. And then the big topic. I'm going to talk about why I don't believe in progressive resistance training, which is kind of like the hallmark mainstay of, the entire fitness industry. But I don't really believe in it, and I want to talk why about that. And that should probably fill up more time than I've allotted to record this, because that's pretty much how I roll these days. If you want more information or you want to interact more frequently, my Facebook group is awesome. I actually like everybody in my Facebook group, maybe because I have to approve you to get in there. Coach Taylor Simon Facebook group. Go join it. We have lots of fun there. There's some really good discussions. People put I'm happy with it so far. I wasn't sure I wanted to start it. My wife convinced me to. I'll keep it going for now, as long as people don't get nasty, because I'm not here for the nasty shit. I also am reinvigorating my YouTube channel. You can go check that out too. Like everybody else on the internet, if you want to subscribe, everyone else on the internet is asking you to subscribe to their stuff, like their shit. If you want to, go for it. Really, I don't think I'll ever have enough people subscribe to me on YouTube to actually make it financially beneficial for me. I don't know. Subscribe anyway. Let's see what happens. Because if I can make a living doing this stuff, that'd be fucking cool. Well, no, I still like training. I still like training in real life too. I do like it. As always now, this podcast is supported, promoted, sponsored by ttonline.ca, my online training platform. Hey, this spring challenge that we're doing, a whole bunch of people that listen here have signed up, and I'm super fucking excited about that, right? Because it's if you're listening to all my stuff and reading all my stuff and doing it all, and you want a way to do it all, fucking come do it with us, right? Do it with us. Fitness, I'm talking about. But yeah, ttonline.ca if you want to hang out with me and my team. New workouts every week. It's pretty awesome. Not right now, but we will eventually be posting exclusive content just for our online people. And we have a Facebook group for everyone that's done that too. It's $10. $10 to do a week-long trial to see if you like it and like hanging out with us. $10. That's not fucking much, team. That's not fucking much. Anyway, that is what's going on for this episode 48. Could be good, could be bad. We're about to find out. Oh yeah, and I'm going to go live on Facebook because people seem to like that shit. So live on Facebook it will be. Here we go, episode 48, Coach Taylor Radio. Nailed it. All right, YouTubers. So you get to see the most behind the scenes. Well, Facebook Live a little bit when I start it, but they don't get all the segments. They don't get all the segments. You get everything. The starting, the stopping. If I fuck up radio shit. Not quite true. I think the first or second episode I did edit you a little bit, didn't I? I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it at all, actually. Let's start some Facebook Live. Perfect. Facebook Live. I hate the first 2 minutes of Facebook Live because you're talking and you can see, if you guys have never done a Facebook Live before, you can see how many people are watching at any given time. And so these first few minutes when you first start the Facebook Live, nobody's watching, but you're still talking. At least on my podcast, now people will watch it later, which is what I'm hoping with Facebook Live. This is going to be the recording of episode 48 of Coach Taylor Radio. We already did the intro. If you want to see that, you're going to have to watch on the YouTube station, or you're going to have to listen to the podcast. See my mic? My mic sounds nice. All right, let us go on to recording the podcast. Let's do an intro on the Odyssey. All right, podcast episode 48. Let's do an update on the Health Odyssey 2019 and how that is going. It's going super well. Yeah, I still really like doing it. Everything's awesome. Today will be the 4th Meatless Monday, which, good morning, Amy. Oh yeah, podcast. I'm live on Facebook now, so I might respond to people's questions if they talk to me on there. Today will be the 4th, maybe the 5th, Meatless Monday, which I'm going to rename. Because look, and this is something we're going to talk about later on in a future episode, we focus so much on taking things out, I think it's way more important and way more valuable to life to add things in. So instead of calling it Meatless Monday, I think I'm going to call it Plant Day. Plant Day. Why? Because the purpose of Meatless Monday is not that I hate meat. Fuck man, I fucking love meat. I probably eat more meat than anyone else listening to this show. Probably trying to decrease that a little bit because I don't want to die of a heart attack from overconsumption of meat. But I need to eat more plants. So the purpose of this Meatless Monday isn't that I hate meat or think we shouldn't eat it, because that's not what I think at all. It's to include more plants into life. And it's been good. I look forward to it. It's been really interesting. We've been trying some new stuff. The recipes have been good. I don't think my wife liked it last week because I baked the tofu and tried to make it crispy. I've never fucking eaten tofu in my fucking life. I'm never going to eat very much tofu, but apparently making it crispy on the outside is a no-go. So we're going to work on that one. Got some new plans for tonight. What's going on with the rest of the Odyssey? Well, this is kind of the part of the Odyssey because I talk about fitnessy shit and then fermenting. I started a new YouTube channel video list called Coach Taylor's Kitchen. So we've done one video so far. It was pretty awesome. Fermenting carrots. So I think everyone needs to be eating fermented foods. I've talked about this before. I'm sure I'll talk about this numerous times in the future. But I taught everyone yesterday how to ferment carrots. So it's like a 20-minute video. The first 10 minutes, if you want to just learn how to do the fermenting of the carrots, is all you gotta watch. Just the first 10 minutes. But they're so fucking easy. And then I tried some of my latest fermented carrots that I've actually tried flavoring with, like garlic and pepper and all these other delicious things. Holy fuck, man. Like, so good. So good. This morning I'm late recording again because I was getting my root beer water kefir fermenting. Fermenting is fun and it's delicious and it's fun. So I'm going to start this. I've already started Coach Taylor's Kitchen. But I don't know what kind of shit you guys want to do. Because look, if you go on to my _Renaissance Man Instagram account, I post a lot of the food that I cook. People are always like, yes, Meatless Monday. Oh, good, Cody, share meatless recipes with me. I share a lot of the food that I cook, but all this stuff, people are like, give me that recipe. Look, I'm trying to learn a different, like a restaurant caliber, professional chef caliber style of cooking. I can't really just like share those recipes necessarily because you're never gonna fucking make them because it'll take you probably a good, 2 or 3 hours. Because there's days when I'll spend 2 or 3 hours making a meal because I fucking enjoy it and I like learning this stuff. But other cooking things, or maybe specific techniques or types of foods, or I like the idea of Coach Taylor's Kitchen. I'll keep it going, but send me ideas or requests of the types of things you would like me to put on there. If I get comments, I'll do more stuff. What else is going on with the Odyssey? Oh yeah, now that we're talking about this, let's talk about meat. Because my other thing that I discovered was we do Taco Wednesdays, not Taco Tuesday, because Wednesdays I have more time for cooking, and some of my taco nights can get pretty elaborate. Go check out my Instagram to see why. So I'm trying to learn a new thing. We gotta get over our elitist attitude towards meat, right? So I don't want to say Western culture because it's not as bad in Europe, and I can't say North America because it's not like this in Mexico. It's really just Canada and the United States. I don't think Australia's even as bad as we are for this, but we only eat like 3 parts of the fucking animal, right? We eat 3 parts of it. We eat their chest, and their rump, and their ribs. That's like it. There's a lot of other animal out there. You've got organs, you've got little muscles, cheeks and tongues, and so we call it tip to tail, right? You should be eating an animal tip to tail, but somehow in our culture now here, it's become gross. Like people are like, oh, gross, I can't eat that. Well, then you shouldn't be allowed to eat meat. I think I'm going to talk about this later in the podcast. I can't remember, but we're going to talk about it right now anyway. So I'm trying to get over this elitist meat attitude and do more tip to tail with meat. So on Wednesday this went past, on my Taco Wednesday, I made beef tongue tacos from a really cool book from a Mexican chef that I really, really think is awesome. Apparently, people can confirm this if it's true. This is what the guy in the book says, that in Mexico, beef tongue tacos are like on every street taco stand. Like, they're just really common. So I made tongue tacos. They're really fucking good. Like, they're really, really good. I made it with a bone marrow salsa. There's another thing people don't eat, bone marrow. And this shit's also good for you. All these parts of the animal that we're not eating are probably actually the healthiest parts of the animal for us to eat. Right? Like, this is true shit. This is true shit. And then people are like, oh, eating the tongue, that's so gross. But it's gross in your head. What did it taste like? It kind of tasted like a delicious fucking roast beef, right? The whole tongue cost me $9. So then people are talking about, oh, I need to eat cheap, right? I can't afford to eat all this stuff. You can't afford to eat T-bone steaks, maybe. Buy a fucking beef tongue. It's $9. A whole cow tongue will probably feed 6 or 7 people for $9, right? Oh, but that's gross. Is it grosser than eating the animal's chest muscle? Is it grosser than eating their butt muscles? No, but you do that all the time. What with the ribs? You fucking eat ribs. You peel apart their rib cage and gnaw the meat off of their bones, and then you're gonna tell me that eating the tongue is gross. Like, I just want you to fucking think about that for a second. Just for a second. Right now, Vanessa, one of my coaches, who's been with us for well over a decade now, the poor girl. She listens to this, and her master's degree is in anatomical sciences, and this shit freaks her out, and I love doing this to her so much. But she's carved up a lot of cadavers in her anatomy degree, and if you talk to her about meat and talk to her about it in anatomical terms, it pretty much makes her throw up, which is hilarious. But I bring this up because think about this for a second. One of your hip flexors is called the psoas. P-S-O-A-S. The psoas, right? Obviously the P is silent. That's English. It's fucked up shit. Robert, if you're listening to this, that's some fucked up shit. Some inside jokes, team, but I'll share them eventually. Bone marrow is full of nutrients and delicious. And roast bone marrow is delicious. So, right, the psoas, right, that's your hip flexor. If I was like, hey, go eat that psoas, you'd be like, ooh, that's kind of gross. But if I was like, hey, go eat that beef tenderloin, you'd be like, ooh, that's the best part of the fucking cow. It is, it's expensive too, right? Guess what? It's the fucking cow's psoas. That's what it is. Like, fuck. Eat that. So don't tell me the tongue's all fucked up. That's just in your head. You've got to learn to get over that shit. Because I believe if you're going to eat meat, which we should eat animal things, it's you are responsible to eat all of it and to not ignore where it comes from. I have a really, really big problem with when you talk about butchering or cutting up dead animals to eat them, and people like freak out and like, ooh, I don't want to talk about that, and then they fucking gnaw the meat off of ribs. I'm like, that's not appropriate to me. You should, in Michael Pollan's book that I told you guys to read before, The Omnivore's Dilemma, he goes to some local little farms where he participates in the butchering process, and it's hard for him, but we are so detached from that part of it that I think this is a big problem. I don't think we appreciate these things, and it lets us hide away. Like, if you haven't looked into how cows are treated and pigs and chickens are treated in the factory farms that supply Costco and your grocery stores, you need to. And if you want to hide your fucking head in the sand and be an asshole and eat the meat and be grossed out by it and not understand where it's coming from, then you're truly an asshole, right? Because you're contributing to the torment and torture of animals by ignoring it, and then you're still eating them. And that is messed up shit, right? Change that for you, Robert. So, I could go on about that all day. I'm not going to, because I watch and I'm deep into this podcast already. I got more shit that I got to talk about, including sugar, which everyone's going to want to talk about sugar. I know what you guys want to hear most of the time. So, to get over my elitist attitude, I'm starting to cook different parts, and now here is something interesting. And this is going to be really hard for me, because I've loved animals my entire life, and I cry when animals get hurt. Like, if you're watching TV or a movie, and like people get like murdered and beaten and shit, I don't really care, it's a movie. But something happens to like a dog, that messes me up. Like, I can't watch that. Like, I can't. It just messes me up. I love animals. But I also love to eat animals. And because I think that you should be part of this, I want to learn to get my own animals, how to butcher the animals, and everything like that. Now, I'm not going to necessarily start raising them yet. I don't have the space to have chickens and things like that. Plus, I think one of my dogs would probably kill and eat the chickens, or play with them, who knows. But I signed up for this. I signed up for my unrestricted hunting gun course at the end of the month. One of my physios is going to do it with me. She likes hunting. I signed up. I'm going to get certified and be allowed to have hunting guns. And then I've already booked 2 hunting dates. So I'm going to start with hunting grouse, birds, grouse and ducks, right? And then deer. And one day my goal is to hunt moose. I'm not going to get into the detail. Maybe we'll talk later about hunting versus how we eat. But I've signed up for that because we're still doing the Odyssey update. This is just the update on the Odyssey. That's all we're on. That's the only part we're at right now. But I've signed up. I booked in for this stuff. I'm also going to get a fishing license this year and have some people teach me to fish. I'm going to buy a fishing rod. So the goal is to tip to tail procure my own animals and incorporate them into my cooking with the vegetables that I'm growing and fermenting and all of these things. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really hard for me. Like, I know it's going to be, but I really believe if you're not willing to do that part, then you don't deserve to eat the animal. If you're not willing to understand what goes on in the process, you don't deserve to eat the animal. It's our responsibility to be a part of that process. So that's that. So that's what I think. Look, I'm going to make a note. I'm writing this down right now. Hunting versus Costco. I fucking hate Costco. Like, I really hate Costco. We got rid of our membership a long time ago. They're probably not going to sponsor the podcast after this, right? Right. What else is going on in the Odyssey? I've got something else. Oh yeah, I had a change in my internal debates about fitness and exercise. What does that mean? It means that, okay, look, I don't feel like training all the time. In fact, most of the time. There's some days you feel like, oh yeah, I'm going to go out and crush it. Most days, like, you kind of got to make yourself, right? Myself and pretty much everybody else out there right now have a great litany of excuses that you create to try to not start working out and training, right? I used to be like this until I just realized this week things are changing a little bit. So I used to be coming up with excuses and justifications to not work out. And some of you might know some of these, right? I'll double up the intensity tomorrow, right? One day missed isn't so bad. I've been doing this almost every day for 3.5 months now. Like, one day off won't hurt. But that is the start of the really fucking slippery slope, right? So up to this point with this Odyssey and training and everything, I've been trying to deal with that internal dialogue of getting over, stopping to have those like excuses. Then I realized this week, those excuses aren't there in my head anymore. I'm not even thinking about that. I just did not feel, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, I'd have to go through my journal, which I'm probably going to publish, by the way, at the end of the year. You can read my daily journal, 365 entries of awesomeness. You'll have to, I'll have to look it up which day it was, but I suddenly realized I didn't want to go outside and train. I just didn't want to train. But I wasn't trying to come up with excuses not to. There was just merely a debate. Am I going to go do it right now, or am I going to go do it later? It wasn't even like, should I or shouldn't I? It was just, am I going to do it now, or am I going to do it later? All those other parts were gone. And that's kind of cool, and that's never really happened before, and I just realized it today, and I really think it's part of this Odyssey journey. And why and what is that from? I think it's the building of a habit. I think I'm actually starting to get to the point that I'm building a habit. So look, I wrote a little note in my little programming here. Habits are something we do habitually, right? That's a habit. A habit has no debate, no reasoning, no internal dialogue, and no creating systems of rewards and punishment. Right? What do I mean by this? If I do this, I reward myself with that. I don't believe that will build habits, right? It builds a reliance on expecting rewards. Oh, if I eat really well for 4 weeks, then I can have a piece of cake. If I do this for a month or two, then I can go on a cruise, right? And people reward themselves with things for making sacrifices with health and fitness. And I think that is not right. I don't think you should do that, and I don't think that will build a habit. That just builds a non-stop pattern of trying to convince yourself to do something you don't want to do by rewarding yourself with something most people probably shouldn't be doing. Right? And so that's not building a habit. And so I really, on this Odyssey that I'm on, and the things that I coach people to do, I don't ever tell anyone to reward themselves with something for doing good fitness. Right? I did a little clap there for the audio people. You should watch the video. It's more fun. Apparently I have fun facial expressions. I don't think you should reward yourself with fitness, with shit, because it's not going to build the habit that you want. You want to get to the point where you just literally do things. Oh, hang on. My dog is currently here. Can you guys see on the live stream? No one else will get to see this. This is here. Can you see down there? There's Heisenberg. That's where he sits. Podcast, you're going to have to watch the live stream video. He just crawled in under the desk. Heisenberg likes to curl up at my feet most of the time when he's not barking like an asshole in the front room. So you can't use a reward system in order to build a habit. You just have to create the habit, and you do it by just forcing yourself to do it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm at 3 months and a couple of weeks into this, and I'm just starting to find this is starting to happen. It's what I've talked about before. It's a year-long process. A year-long process to start to build these habits. And see what I just said there? To start to build these habits. Even after a year, you're still going to have to work at it. If you look at people like alcoholics and drug addicts, they've built a habit on something and they have to break it, and it never goes away. They're always working on that. It's the same with these healthy habits too. Our inclination will always be to not do them. We will always have to work at maintaining the habits. Habits are something we do habitually. That is very seemingly self self-evident, but at the same time, something that most people don't actually look up for. So that's an update on the Odyssey so far, plus some philosophical debating. Actually, I forgot to talk about this in my intro. I had a little note. I'm a weird health and fitness coach in this world, because most of the fitness world is pretty much about lose weight, train your abs, build a bigger muscle, and no one. And we're going to talk about this next. Like, no one pays attention to the important things. I try to, and sometimes I get a little philosophical. And I'm reading some books right now that are like mind-bending shit. How we do our fitness and health in our culture right now is some fucked up shit. All right, that's the update on the Odyssey. Let's go on to some more segments for this show. If you're watching live, now we're just gonna switch topics. YouTube's watching. This is when I have a little cup of tea, so my mouth's not so pasty and dry. The current tea that I'm drinking is smoky. It's smoky. My wife hates it. She thinks it's disgusting. It smells like and tastes like the smoke coming from a campfire. You don't think that tea can taste like a campfire? Let me tell you, it can. It can. All right, let's go on to the next section. All right, this section of the podcast, I want to talk about why people ignore the truly important things in their health and fitness. For everyone that's just listening to the podcast, we just had a great talk about tea over on the video. I'm not gonna, you gotta go watch that if you want to see it. What am I talking about with this important stuff? Anything I say, for you guys that listen to this all the time, sometimes you send me questions and I answer them, and I then use your questions or things as teaching mechanisms on future episodes. I'm not giving you shit for anything or saying that you shouldn't. Please just remember that. I love that there's people that listen to my podcast walking their dogs, because I love dogs, and I love that I'm making people do exercise, and I love that I'm helping dogs get out there and get exercise. And I want you to keep doing that. There is nothing wrong with doing that. But it brought to my mind, it makes me feel like I'm there walking the dog with you. I just love that. But it brought to my mind something else that we talk about. And I don't want to get all crazy, philosophical, mindfulness, blah, 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 because I think people are into that stuff, take it to a point that no one else is interested. They get too fucking weird about it, right? And there's like a line, and I'm not ever going to cross that line. I know everyone thinks I'm turning into a crazy hippie, because then I'm going to like hunt, I do gardening, all this shit. Don't worry, I'm not going to go there. But when you're out walking your dog, and I see this because we live in a student area near a big university, and I see students walking to school time, and literally their faces are glued to their phone, right? Or I see people in the neighborhood out walking their dogs, and they've got their dog's leash in one hand, and they're staring at their phone in the other hand. And the dog's pulling on the leash, trying to smell stuff, birds are flying by, and no one fucking sees any of that shit. Like, no one sees any of that. Right? And you're missing some stuff. I feel bad for dogs whose owners are paying no attention to them, right? Putting your dog on the leash and just walking it and then putting it back in the house, that's not an interactive experience. That's not creating a bond with this emotional creature. And I'm just using that as like an analogy for creating a bond with you and yourself and paying attention to where you're at, right? So we've got to really think about these things. And this is what I'm talking about ignoring the truly important stuff. Because I think in general, in the entire world of health and fitness, there's so much stuff that's so important and no one pays attention to it, right? There's so many little things that I tell people to do all the time, and I know they don't do, and they don't understand what a big impact this would make on their life. Like meditation, right? Oh wait, where's my note? Yeah. Look. We run fitness challenges and we do some programs, right, to get people motivated and kick-started and hopefully lead into some lifelong habits. In the last couple of years, we've started to add things to this beyond diet and fitness. All right, so we're currently running the spring challenge. We're running, if you want to join it, it's probably too late. Send me a message if you want to join it, but it's probably too late because we're into it now. there's a nutrition component. You got to do fasting, foods that you eat, not having any alcohol, blah, blah, blah. You got to work out so many days a week, right? People are commenting and talking about all of that stuff. But there's other things in this challenge, and it's just like my Odyssey, right? No one asks me about all the inclusions. People just want to know about all the sacrifices. And in the spring program, and a lot of programs are doing now, we're adding in some daily meditation. Not mindfulness stuff per se, but just like eating a meal at your table with your family, or even by yourself with just some music on and actually chewing, right? We're reading, trying new foods, learning a new skill. When people are talking and commenting about this stuff, a lot of that gets completely, totally ignored. Right? Everyone's fucking fixated, and good. You gotta do the food, do the fasting, hit your workouts, all that, and people are like, yeah, I nailed that, I nailed that, I nailed that. The other stuff I haven't quite got to yet. And that is my problem. We're not adding this shit in for shits and giggles, right? We're putting these things in there for a reason. And this is what people don't understand, that this stuff, when we look over the rest of your life, is, I believe, the most important part of the equation. Making sure that you do 5 minutes a day of daily meditation, that you're reading books on a regular basis, right? Not on your phone either, right? Like I've got a Kobo reader and Real Books. Don't read on your phone unless you've got one of those apps that turns off all your notifications. Because every fourth paragraph getting a notification is fucking up your reading, right? Read books, trying new foods, learning new skills, right? I'm doing my guitar lessons still, my violin lessons, right? Learning new skills. I'm going to go learn hunting. I'm learning to cook. Like I'm always learning new skills. These things, people don't think about them, about how important they really truly are to your life. They will benefit you more in your life. And oh, well, it won't reduce my chance of cardiovascular disease. Well, actually it might. Right, or all these other things. But listen, they're helping you build habits. They're helping you be committed to things. They bring a better sense of well-being. Of course that's going to help out with the nutrition and the eating and the respecting yourself and the fitness over time. Of course it's going to be a part of that. I think an even stronger thing, because what is the thing that always makes people stop caring about their health and fitness? Their fucking brain. It's our brains. We choose not to do those things. You think it's not a choice, but it is a choice. You come up with the litany of excuses that we've already talked about, but that's a choice. Because every single fucking time someone tells me they don't have time for good nutrition or healthy food or good fitness, every single time they can tell me the plot of at least 2 or 3 different TV shows. Done. Mic, drop. I dropped a pen because I don't want to drop my mic. It's expensive. You've got time, right? But we got to focus on all of these components. And I think that it's these little things, getting in the meditation, focusing on these. Look, 5 minutes a day of meditation is not fucking hard. If you can't fit that into your life, you've got to fucking change your life. You've got to change your life if you can't fit in 5 minutes of meditation. But if you can do 5 minutes of meditation every day for the next 60 days, you are going to feel accomplished. And that will lead to more things, of adding more things in. And those are the things we've really got to start to focus on. You've got to look at the whole picture when it comes to health. And that's why I'm weird in this industry. Because most people just pay it lip service. I'm actually doing it and I'm constantly preaching it. Right? I don't care what your abs look like. I don't care about, and later we're gonna blow apart a huge fitness myth. I better get going because we're getting long in this podcast. I'm gonna blow up some shit later. We're so focused. It's like animals. We only eat 3 parts. It's like with our health and fitness, we only focus on like 3 parts. And you've got to focus on everything or none of it will work. Right? I posted a really good article in my Coach Taylor group. If you're not in, you gotta go join that shit. By Ryan Holiday. Fucking super smart guy. Very smart, very well read. He's a testament to what reading can do. He wrote a good blog called "You Could Have Had Today, Instead You Choose Tomorrow." I think you gotta go read that. You gotta go read that blog. It's in my group. But it's how people kind of live their life. And these are the little things that we've got to pay attention to. You've got to pay attention to these little things every day, and don't underestimate their value. The value of accomplishing 2 or 3 small things every day versus a workout every day for 6 weeks and then fucking doing nothing. It's so much more important for those little things that you accomplish every day. Don't underestimate the importance of the little things. That was a good segment, I think. Now we're going to talk about sugar. See? I bored everybody. See, live stream? Half the people who are watching fucking stopped watching on that last section. That's what they did. Actually, I want to talk about that on the podcast. Alright, now we're going to talk about sugar and eating sugar. But first, I was just talking to the live stream. That last section that we just talked about, remember how I said people don't care about that, don't pay attention to it? Over half the people that were watching my live stream when I was talking about that fucking stopped watching my live stream. Right, because people don't give a shit and they don't think it's important and they just come on here, well, how can I make my abs nice? Well, fuck you. If you are just here to try to learn how to make your abs nice, you are in the wrong fucking spot. Go to Instagram, look up Kayla Itzsteins or Body Rock people or something like that. That's all the shit they give a fuck about. Actually, all the shit they give a fuck about is making money off of you. So, and they'll tell you anything and sell you anything to make money off of you. That's what they care about. Now, on to the talking about sugar. Shall we? Here's a problem. So someone made a comment. I made some kind of sauce this week and posted it and put the ingredients in. What the hell was that sauce? I don't know. It was like a barbecue sauce. But anyway, I put brown sugar in it. And then, Amy, I'm glad you're still watching. You give me entertainment. I put brown sugar in it and someone commented, oh, like I thought why did you add sugar, right? Listen, sugar is not inherently evil. It's not an evil product out to try to kill us all. You can't just put a blanket statement on sugar, because this is what happens. Is people use the word sugar and they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I hate it. And this is what I've talked about this so much, how stupid most of the people in the fucking fitness industry are, and half the fucking health, and like it blows my mind. I have this debate sometimes with doctors who are smart fucking people when it comes to physiology, right? Sugar isn't a blanket statement of something. It is a name for a food group that we ingest, a macronutrient called carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are all sugar. Sugar is just a word that we use instead of saying saccharides. Sorry, fructoses. Oh yeah. I don't want to get into like big science talk right now. Every single carbohydrate that you eat gets broken down into sugar. It doesn't matter if you eat a banana or a potato or kale or beans or pasta or rice or tofu. All of these foods are sugar. They get broken down into simpler and simpler sugars in the body. Right? That is what sugar is. The issue we have in our modern culture with sugar is how fucking much of it we eat, and the fact that we're eating it in totally refined ways. See, normally what would happen is you would eat an apple. The apple has all sorts of shit in it, and fiber and skin, like it's a complex thing. You eat it, you bite into it with your mouth, which helps keep your teeth healthy. Then you chew it, so your salivary amylase starts to mix into it. That starts the digestion process. Yes, that's why it's important that you chew your food, right? Then it goes into your stomach where some more process happens, and it all gets broken down slowly. You know what it gets broken down to? Fructose, right? Which you're told, oh, don't eat fructose, don't eat sucrose. These are just the simple things. But see, when you eat that apple, you get all these other benefits, and it takes time, right? If you just go grab some white table sugar or some refined fructose and you eat that, none of that shit that I just said happens. It's like, boom, in my blood, insulin through the roof. Kind of. Because there's two things we have to remember with sugar and with digestion. You have the simpleness of the sugar, how refined it is, but you also have to have volume, and this has really big, important applications when it comes to eating, too. I think it's going to be a really long episode today. If you eat pure sucrose, sprinkled on top of black beans and kidney beans with a steak, right? When you eat all that food, that sucrose isn't going to cause any kind of insulin spike because it's got a whole bunch whack of shit all combined in there with it, right? That will slow down the digestive ability. If you just eat the white sugar by itself, big spikes, right? That's why sucking on candy, another reason why that's so fucking bad for you, right? It's just simple sugars in there and nothing else with it. So that's one, right? How simple it is and how long it's absorbed. Now, volume of sugar. You see, if you sprinkle some sugar, so look, the sauce that I made was like a big, what the fuck did I put that sauce on? God, I can't remember. Old man brain, it's happening. I put like the whole sauce, maybe had, I don't know, a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in it, right? Just to bring out the sweetness with some other things with it, some vinegar. It's a delicious sauce. I'm getting really good at making sauces. There wasn't very much in there, and it was combined with everything else, and then the sauce was put onto something else. That's kind of okay. When you go and buy a 1 liter pop, for all you Americans, oh, wings. Thank you, Dana. It was my wing sauce. Yeah, wings. I fucking ate wings with sauce that had sugar in it, and I didn't get fat. Weird. God damn it, now I forgot what I was talking about. This happens to me too. Right? So when you put the sugar in the sauce and you go and eat that stuff, like, it's okay. There's not much in there and it's all mixed in together. So you're not gonna, oh yeah, the 1 liter pop. If you go and drink a 1 liter pop, there is like 80 tablespoons of sugar that you ingest in a voluminous liquid that just boom shoots right into you. And you're like, oh yeah, but I ate the chicken nuggets with it and the french fries. All that shit's got sugar put into it too. Granted, it'll probably slow down the digestion a bit, but the volume of it is so much. There is nothing in real life nature that is that concentrated. Not even fucking honey. Like, you could not... You want to make yourself fucking sick and see what I'm talking about? Do this. Go get a liter of honey and fucking drink it. Go drink a liter of honey. Tell me how you feel. For liability reasons, maybe don't do that. But I'm telling you, you wouldn't be able to do that. You would be fucking sick. Because real food won't let you eat like an asshole, right? Processed, industrialized food is all about asshole eating. So, that's why it's okay to add a little bit of sugar into things, right? We got to talk about ratios. So, Melissa, you're asking about food combining. Yeah, if you put foods together into a meal, it changes. Anyone that follows the glycemic index needs to stop because it's all messed up and it's not tested properly. Those numbers are not accurate at all when we look at how our meals work, right? When you combine all this stuff together, it changes how we absorb it. It changes how we break it down. So can you cook with sugar? Sure, and I bought, I think it's organic cane sugar. I've got some organic coconut sugar. And yeah, I combine it into some things. Look, I can't ferment without the stuff. All those little bacteria in my kombucha. If you're watching on YouTube, see up over there, you can see that little jar right there. Right there. That's my 25 liters of kombucha that are brewing. You need sugar. Those little things have to eat it, right? Sugar is food for us. We just can't have a huge volume of it. So it's totally fine when you're cooking recipes to use some sugar in there. It's not bad, right? Just stop drinking pop and eating nuggets and like all the shit you buy at the store. It has extra put in there for no reason. It's not a natural way of doing it, right? If you're going to add sugar in a not natural way, like making a sauce, etc., it's just like a little bit for flavor, and it's going on the chicken wings or something else. So yeah, it's okay to eat sugar. You can't vilify it. Watch the volume and never eat it by itself, right? Those are the keys with sugar. All right, these sections are just getting way too long. Only 2 things to go. One quick one. I don't even know why I'm putting this onto the show, but we're going to do it anyway. And then a long segment. That's going to break some hearts. We're going to break some hearts in a couple minutes. Actually, no, I'm probably going to, if anyone's still watching this by that point, I'm going to get some nasty feedback. All right, I think this section is going to be nice and quick. Proper push-up position and my Turkish get-up. So last week I said before, I'm trying to put up more videos, technique things. If you want more of those, message me what you want and I'll put them up. Turkish get-up video. If you want to know how to do Turkish get-ups, go onto my YouTube channel. Videos right there. I think it's on my Coach Taylor page. Things will be faster on YouTube. And I did a video on push-ups too, because there's a couple things about push-ups that people really need to watch. So essentially your wrist position. Everyone does push-ups with their hands flat on the ground with the wrists bent back. It's fucking terrible. You got to do it up on your knuckles. Not like your pointy part of your knuckles, the flat of your hand. Flat of your hand. Right there. See YouTube? Right there. Keep that wrist straight. And it's a really important skill to learn. I like push-ups for learning it, because when you do any kind, people like to do planks or bear crawls, there's all these things. That bent back wrist position is really never good for us ever. Maybe I'll make a video of the real way, that's the best way to put your hands on the ground, which is actually on your fingertips. But the knuckle one is really good. We want to keep that wrist straight, right? The other thing is we want to make sure with the push-ups that the fingertips never turn in, right? So if you go into push-up position and look at your hands, your fingers should be pointed forward or a little bit out. But most people, when they do them, they turn their fingers pointing in. That internally rotates your shoulder and can do really bad, terrible things to it, right? So we want to turn the fingers forward, or actually even better, a little bit out. But Coach Taylor, when I turn my fingers out, I find my elbows come back closer to my body. Exactly. That's what I want. So you've heard tricep push-ups, your elbows come right to your side and focuses more on the tricep. I don't want you to go that far in, but if you can look at yourself, because I'm going to take a picture of you from overhead when you're in a push-up position. Your elbows shouldn't be pointing straight out to the side. They should be about 45 degrees between straight out to the side and your body line, right? Make 45 degrees in there. Not here. Here. See that, YouTube? Straight out, 45 degrees. Right there. If you're listening to the podcast, like, oh fuck, I'm missing all these great videos, just go watch my push-up video. I fucking made a video for you. Right? So do that with your push-ups. Then how far apart do your hands go? Play around with that. That's different. I don't know. Shoulder width-ish, a little bit outside shoulder width. Two more things on the push-up. Hip position. Make sure that your hips aren't sagging down below your chest, straight like a plank, or hips elevate a little bit. Perfect. Well, are you comfy, buddy? Dog just laid on my other foot now. And then the last thing, again, have someone take a picture of you or look in a mirror if you can. Your shoulders should be over top of your wrists. The other thing you'll find with people when they're doing push-ups is that they are way pushed back, so that shoulders are way behind the wrists. This is a no-no, bad no-no. Shoulders over top the wrists with all those things. Again, go look at my push-up position video. It's all there. And why I want to talk about these two things is, for anyone who's been following my Odyssey, you know I'm in the mid, and I've got all my warrior group doing this at the studio. We're doing a year-long challenge because it takes a year to build a habit of every day doing things. It's almost like I put these things together with intent in mind and not just fucking randomly make it up for fun. Every day we do Turkish get-ups and push-ups. Look, if you just want to keep your body healthy and fit for the rest of your life, right, you kind of have to do three things, but basically two things. Turkish get-ups. Ooh, I think I just made up a challenge for 2020. Oh, this one's going to hurt. Turkish get-ups, because they're awesome. Watch the video. Push-ups, because they're easy and can be really awesome, and you can add some things to them to really give diversity. So every day we have to do Turkish get-ups and push-ups. This is April, 4th month, so we're doing 4 Turkish get-ups per side per day and 8 push-ups every single day. Man, December's going to be rough. 12 Turkish get-ups every day per side and 24 push-ups every day, right? But we build those things in. So for the rest of your life, if you just do those two things, you're going to be healthy and fit. We're going to talk next section about what that means and why, but that will keep you healthy and fit and mobile and living life and doing things. That's literally all you got to do. So learn the Turkish get-up, learn the push-up. And someone messaged me this morning about, because I said you'd find somebody to help coach you to do a good Turkish get-up. Someone messaged me saying, how do you find somebody? Got to go probably to smaller places. Most CrossFit places probably have people very proficient in the Turkish get-up, but smaller training centers are going to be better than your big gyms. Here's what you do. You tell them, I want to learn the Turkish get-up. That's all I want to do. And they'll say, okay, we can teach it. Say, show me your Turkish get-up. If they do it really well, hire them for a session or two to teach you the Turkish get-up. Done. That's how you do it. Oh, but I feel really bad doing that. Don't. Like, fucking people hire me for shit all the time. And like, can you do this? And I'm like, look, here's my 18 fucking videos how I do this. Test people. Test them before you pay them. Right? That's how you do it. So learn the Turkish get up, learn the push-up, and do some every day for the rest of your life. After this year-long Turkish get up challenge, the goal is every day for the rest of my life, I want to do 4 Turkish get ups aside and 10 push-ups every day. There, everyone that's doing this challenge with me. And if you're watching or listening to this right now and you want to join in, it's only April, join in. Start doing it with us right now. 4 Turkish get ups aside, 8 push-ups, right? But that's the aftermath of this year. It's 4 per side per day and 10 push-ups every day for the rest of your life. Okay, that was sort of good. That was the second last section. Now we're going to get controversial. Some of you might not think this is controversial. Some of you might. Oh. Anyone that is in the health and fitness world sure will. But you know me, I'm not one to shy away from controversy. Oh, God, has that got me in a lot of trouble in my life, let me tell you. Here we go. All right, it is now time to get a little bit out there. Amy, I don't know if people are going to get butthurt about this. Here's the thing and why this is going to be controversial. It's because most people in the fitness industry do things just because that's the way it's always been done, and no one has ever questioned anything, right? And then they start to read research, which I've been building to this, you guys. I've been building to this for 47 fucking episodes. I've been building to this. We read the research, and the research says do this and this and this. And so we just do it, but we don't think about it, and we don't think about the outcome and the reasoning behind what we're doing, right? I do not believe any longer in progressive resistance training. Some of you may not know what that is. That essentially means what everyone in the fitness industry tells you all the time. You've always got to be trying to lift more weight. More weight. You should be doing more weight this week than you did last week. 3 years from now, you should be lifting more weight, right? So the idea behind what progressive resistance training is you're constantly overloading the muscles with weight to make them get stronger and bigger, right? That's progressive. You progressively overload it. Resistance, weight, training. Moving the shit, right? Progressive resistance training. So the theory is that that will make you stronger over time. Look, it's true. If you progressively add load to your muscle, it will progressively get stronger. I get that. And how many people do that in the world right now? Cody, I know. D-Nation, no one over there is probably listening to my podcast anyway. But that's what I'm trying to say. Look, Cody, this is a really good thing. T-Nation would fucking freak out about this because they're so fucking locked into this is the way things have always been done that they can't get out of that. But like I'm going to say in my next note, less than 5% of the population actually does progressive resistance training, right? And this becomes a huge problem. And I also just said, it's not that it doesn't work. If you want to be a bodybuilder or anything like that, you need these progressive overloads to get more hype. Look, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not just making this shit up. If you want to get more hypertrophy at the sarcomere in each one of your muscles, right? So for people that aren't into anatomical sciences, the sarcomere is your muscle cell. Hypertrophy is size. We train size, strength, and power. That's how it goes. And you do that through an undulating or linear cycle of progressive resistance training. Guys, I can quote Tudor Bompa to you all fucking day. If you don't know who Tudor Bompa is and you want to debate me about progressive resistance training, fucking don't. Go learn your shit first. Okay? So, I told you, it's going to rile me up. We're going to get long on this. We focus on this progressive resistance training, but less than 5% of people are actually doing it, right? And for some people, this will work. But I'm trying to get to the population of people that aren't trying to be bodybuilders or fucking Olympic athletes. The problem that we have is we take how we train, how those people train, and we try to do it with everybody, because those people that do that and believe these things become the trainers because their life is working out. Right? So how useful is this concept really, right? And now we got to talk about, does it really work? Does it get the muscles stronger? But here's the question, right? How strong do you need to be? Because the constant idea is that we need to get stronger. We need to get stronger. For what? What are you trying to accomplish? Look, I used to be able to deadlift 500 pounds, right? I've pulled 500 before without straps for all of the powerlifters out there. I have a video of it somewhere. I can't do that anymore. My life is not worse. My life is not bad because I can't pull 500 pounds anymore, right? Because I don't need to pull 500 pounds to do the things, to garden, to travel, to hike, to do Muay Thai, to do all the shit that I want to be able to do, right? But we have this total fixation on getting constantly stronger, constantly stronger, constantly stronger, right? Okay, first issue, how strong is strong enough? See, no one thinks, besides this 5% of people that are stuck on this, what am I getting stronger for, right? So we tell everyone, go into the gym and get stronger, do progressive resistance training. Till when? How much? For what? To pick up something? To run? Like, what is it? Because you've got to think about that first. See, the first thing I do with the athletes I train is say, what are you training for? I've got a runner right now, right? 400 meters. I said, okay, you want to get stronger at running. What's your current time? What do you want your time to be? When is your next event? Then we can design a progressive program to hit those goals. But most people don't do that. They go in, I'm going to get stronger. I got to get stronger. I got to get stronger. For what? You've got to know for what. Because issue number 2, and this is the biggest issue with this whole fucking concept. I'm going to talk about the alternative to this and why. This is the biggest issue with this concept, okay? You have an upper limit. There is a point that you can't get any stronger. Even the people that I know that do a fuck ton of steroids and actually are bodybuilders and shit like that, there comes a point where you cannot get stronger. No human unassisted is ever going to deadlift 10,000 pounds. Right? So at some point, one day, you're going to hit the max you will ever do. And after that, you will never be able to do it again. And that becomes psychologically devastating for people, especially ones who are that fixated on that concept. Right? The day will come when you can't get any stronger, you won't get any bigger. Right? So if that is our whole goal, and that's our whole mantra, and that's what when people start at the gym, we start them this progressive resistance training, and we start them into the mindset and coach them for years, constantly trying to get stronger, we are setting them up to fail. We are setting them up to hit the day when they can no longer progress, and no one will feel good about that, right? And then what starts to happen is every day, I can't quite do what I did before, and I can't quite do what I did last week. And then it's just a constant downhill. And I see it all the time. How many people I have in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? Oh, well, I used to be able to do this. Well, I used to be able to do this. You got to stop thinking about that, right? Because I think that this constant need for more resistance does far more harm than good. Look, we used to run group training classes. I've taught group training classes, body pumps and all that, and then boot camp classes for probably longer than you've exercised. I've done this, right? We never tracked anything, right? Today, with our members, we don't track anything. We've got a couple that on their own write down weights and reps, and I'm constantly telling them, they will attest to this, stop doing that, stop writing this stuff down, right? But we don't track any of that stuff, right? And with our group training program, we never tracked it. And it used to blow my mind, right? We used to think about this all the time. People were fucking strong, right? Yeah, Cody, remind me, we'll talk about that too. Morning, Ross. People talk about that all the time too. We used to talk about this. These group training members were just as strong sometimes as our training members that were out lifting them by a shit ton, right? Because, no leg raises. Because there's multiple ways to increase strength at the muscle. It's not just how much more weight you can lift, it's also how much more volume the muscle can do, right? But coach, isn't that also progressive resistance by manipulating the volume instead of the load? Absolutely, which is why I don't fucking track that either, right? See, for all the people that want to shit stomp on me, I actually do know my shit. I actually do. These people in these classes were getting strong and they never ever lifted more than 50 or 60 pounds ever, right? And healthy people between, like, fit people between their 20s and their 50s, right? They were getting stronger constantly, right? But then again, it peaked and I just didn't care because what we wanted to do was just make them strong enough for what they want to do. And that's what we've got to start to focus on, right? Just because something's systematically scientific doesn't mean it's necessarily the best practice, right? Yes, in a lab, they do muscle... oh, Jesus. See, Ross just said that I know my shit. Now I forgot this basic scientific thing that we do. Biopsy. We do muscle biopsies. They literally measure the size of the muscle. Then they do leg extensions and studies and find out if it's getting stronger. And sometimes it gets 1 or 2% stronger. And it's like, oh yeah, this is working, right? But just because we find these things doesn't mean we need them or they're necessary, right? Here's what I think is really missing, and here's the components that become really important of everything that I'm talking about here. You guys, I don't want you to think I'm turning into like this weird spiritual, like hippie that's going to start doing like Reiki and stuff. If you love Reiki, go do it. There's a lot of shit missing, and when I'm talking, I'm not talking to the 5% dedicated few who want to see how much they can lift and compete in a weightlifting competition. I'm talking to the 95% of people that need just more fitness in their life. And the people that are the 5% people that are paying attention to this, you're doing this by doing your fucking progressive resistance training, right? This is what's missing from all this health and fitness stuff. This is what's missing. Fun, enjoyment, laughing, and play. I know it sounds weird and something you're not used to, and that's the problem is we need to be paying attention to that stuff. To keep your body healthy and fit, you have to enjoy it, have fun, you should be laughing, it should be a good time, right? And for most people, this progressive resistance overload training is not a good time. And all the people that are going to battle me on this, you're doing it because for you, it hits all of these things. You're having fun. You probably laugh with your friends. You feel like you're in your playground. People that are in fucking hardcore fitness people say this all the time. This is my playground. It's not a gym. Exactly. But most people aren't like that. For tens of thousands of years before gyms existed, all fitness never happened with progressive resistance training. It happened with things like gymnastics and swinging maces and sprinting up hills. Most fitness was done to train for war and fighting, right? That's what most of it was done for. Maybe that could have been fun and playful for people, right? We're going to have a whole episode about play down the road anyway. So can we get people fit without sets and reps and progressive resistance training, all these things? Yeah, man, we fucking did it forever. And yes, I fully 100% know people 100 years ago and earlier were far fitter than we are today. I would also argue, in general, far healthier. The things that killed people 100 and 200 years ago and before were like fucking diseases that we've pretty much eradicated with vaccines and medical technology, right? But actual fitness, cardiovascular health, strength, nutrition, yeah, it was all better a long time ago. But then what do we do? How do we train if we're not going to use this overused, misunderstood principle of progressive resistance training? What do we do? What do we track instead? And look, I said it no. I said, fuck team. I've talked about this before. And this episode, we have talked about already the importance of paying attention to these little things. There are only 2 things you need to pay attention to with your health and fitness, right? Beyond what type of fitness you're doing, right? You guys know, get rid of muscle isolation stuff, full body training, the mace, TRX, sled pushes, sprint up hills, lift rocks, do all that full body shit. We gotta get that done. But then what do we track? We track two things. Fucking write this down, make these notes. This is what we track. First one, frequency. How often are you being active and doing exercise? Your goal, every single fucking day. Every single day. That's your goal. If you can't get every day, minimum, and I know this is hard, I can't fit this all in, Coach Taylor, 5 days a week, minimum, you had an exercise. Maybe it's only 10 minutes. Maybe your exercise that day is 4 Turkish dips per side and 10 push-ups, right? Oh my God, this fucking podcast is coming together brilliantly. This is like brilliant, and I didn't even do this on purpose. Focus on the little things, the daily things, the frequency. This is like my whole fitness philosophy is coming together in one magical moment right now. You do those little things, those 10 minutes every day. That's your frequency of exercise. It's your focus on this little thing that you don't think is important. This 10 minutes of Turkish get-ups and push-ups, right? You track that frequency, and you do that every day for the rest of your life. That will add up into super fucking fabulous fitness. The second thing you have to track is effort. Now look, I don't know how this got totally ignored in the world of fitness, because there is strong research behind this, right? It's called the Perceived Exertion Scale, PES. I don't know if everyone calls it PES, but it is the Perceived Exertion Scale. What's that? It's how hard do you feel you're working? Rank it on a scale of 1 to 10. There's a good body of research using this to get fitness results, to track fitness outcomes and results. I don't remember the exact methodology of tracking most of the stuff, right? It's probably bad, but I use this every day on a regular basis, right? How hard are you working? Because here's something else with progressive resistance training that's going to lead to psychological issues with trying to stay committed to a fitness program. You're not going to be your best every day. There's days you're going to walk in and fucking crush it. There's days that are going to suck ass, right? In about half an hour, I'm leaving and I'm going to my Muay Thai training today. Some days, last week I was crushing it. Week before that, not that good, right? So, you got to track your effort. And your effort is a scale of 1 to 10 that day of how hard you feel you're working. 10, you're going to die. You're pushing so hard, you're going to die. Not literally, up here in your head. 1, you are watching TV on probably your phone, you're watching Netflix, right? That's 1. On that scale, how hard are you training? Every day, try to train between 6 and 9. Days where you're slow and you're dragging, that scale is going to automatically adjust. Your 8 on a day where you're just not feeling that good is less than an 8 on a day where you are fucking crushing the world in a good way, right? So that scale is how you do it, that perceived exertion scale. And your goal is to be between that 6 and 9 always, right? And that's it. That's all you have to track. If you every day do 10 to 15 minutes of exercise at 6 to 9 on that perceived exertion scale, done. There's never going to be a time in your life where you can't do that. There's no end to that, because it just adapts to you as you go through life and this journey that you're on, right? It just adapts. You adapt to it. So there's no end. There's no point where I can't do any more. I can't get any better. And let me tell you, I've been training people like this now in my head for over a decade. People didn't know it because I still give them progressive resistance little charts to make them get over the psychological fact that they think they should be doing that. But definitely at our business and with our members for at least the last 4 years, right? Our entire online program at ttonline.ca, if you want to train with me and my team, ttonline.ca. Our online program, there is no tracking thing. These are the only things we track. Effort and frequency. And guess what? We are making people fit. Like every day someone sends us a message from either our online or our in studio about something they accomplished today, something they couldn't do before. They're all getting stronger and fitter, and because the other focus on what we're thinking about here, and this is what you've got to remember, and we talked about this already in this section, is like, why? What do you want to be strong for? Are you going to go pick up a 400-pound tree today? No, but you might pick up your grandkids or your kids or your nieces and nephew, or you might go to the grocery store and pick up 20, 30 pounds of groceries and farmers carry them out to your car. You just need to be strong enough to do the things that you want to do. You don't need to be any stronger than that. So we got to get off this fixation of constantly trying to always get stronger. Frequency and effort. And this is why I don't believe in the concept of progressive resistance training. Not that I don't believe it can make the muscle stronger if you follow the protocols. I can sit down and design you, I was looking for a book. I can sit down and design you an undulating or a progressive resistance program, going through all your hypertrophy strength, macro cycles. I can do that. But why? You don't need to. And you shouldn't. And it's just not necessary. Frequency and effort. That's everything you got to track. And then tie that into the little things. Get a hacky sack, right? Like I've talked about this before. People don't take me seriously, right? They don't think these little things are important. They just don't. Get a hacky sack and play hacky. Just practice it 5 minutes a day. Is it going to make a difference in your life in the next 5 days? Well, it might. It'll increase your frustration level to the point that you want to rip your hair out as you start to learn it. But over the next 20 years, if you play 5 minutes of hacky sack a day, I don't think you're going to... Wow, my computer just shut off. I've been talking so long, my computer screensaver turned off. I don't think if you do 5 minutes of hacky sack a day for the next 20 years, you're ever going to lose your balance. Barring catastrophe, disease, something like that, right? How is that not important? Right? 5 minutes of meditation. Look, just add these little things, right? And then if you add these little things here and there, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes of hacky sack in the afternoon, and a couple of Turkish get-ups and some push-ups. Holy fuck, man, I just built, you can fit those things into your life in little bits. And over the next 20, 30, 40 years, they will make the hugest difference. They will keep you healthy and fit. That's why. That's the solution. That's this section. Probably no one from T Nation is going to listen anyway, so I won't have to deal with any of that. Skateboard for balance and resilience. Yeah, man. Skateboarding, super fucking underappreciated for how good that is for your balance and everything. Okay, live stream. I'm turning this off now because I'm just going to do my conclusion and then I got to edit shit and get to my Muay Thai. Thank you all for watching. Hope it was useful. Thank you for the comments. I always appreciate that. And yeah, I'll keep live streaming this probably, even though shit got long today. Have a great one. All right, YouTube, you get to stay for the conclusion. Whew, all right, that was episode 27, 28, episode 40. Oh my God, I am back in time. Episode 48 of Coach Taylor Radio. This is the longest episode so far. That last section did get as long as I anticipated it might, but it was really, really important. So thank you guys so much for watching, listening, whatever's going on. I hope that I know that this motivates at least a few people to make awesome changes in their life, and that is really why I do this. That is really why I do this. So if you've got more questions, comments, anything like that, drop me a line, send me a message. I am more than happy and more than willing to put that into the show. Remember, sponsored by ttonline.ca. If you want to work with me, train with me and my team, that is how you do it from anywhere in the world. You don't even need equipment if you don't want to, but we'll probably convince you to get some kettlebells and a mace. So that is it. Thank you so much for episode 48, and I'll see you next week for episode 49. All right, YouTube, you're the last ones. turn you off, but thank you so much for listening. We'll chat again later.